Hey, good morning, watch people. Thank you for joining for another episode of Luxury Wristwatch Talk with Rich Buddy and Clyve Watch Wrangler. What's up, Rancher? Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. Hey, first of all, I just want to say a get well soon to Hisham Habib. Hisham, despite getting vaccinated, has just caught the virus, has got the Delta.
Oh, really?
Yep, and he feels like crap. So
Yeah.
I hope it just continues to feel like crap. Well, I hope it's nothing more than
Get better, buddy.
Yeah, get better.
I invited him right now, actually, too, but
who knows? Depends how he's feeling. It also depends what the time difference is between here and Islamabad. It might be like, it might be good. Yeah, assuming he's not like on his ass, it might be a good time to come to think of it, because it should be like 5:30, I think, p.m.
Right. Yeah. So I do send Hisham invites regularly too. So, but my shows are so sporadic, though. It's kind of hard for people to jump in last minute.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You're the only one I coordinate with, you and Bud.
Well,
you're usually my early morning 4 a.m. shows, and he's my 7 p.m. shows. Yep.
Nice.
Funny. So we were going to talk quickly about the shortages, the watch shortage, luxury watch shortage, supply demand. What do you think?
Well, and like I said, Bill Sanders has been to Watch Time New York City just now this last weekend, and of course, he's if there's anyone whose Rolodex I envy or covet, it's his. I think he's got more phone numbers saved up than I do. And this isn't just like other punters. These, he's got literally the phone number and the address for the guy in charge of approval 4C or.
So what are you saying? He knows something we don't?
Well, what he was saying is going up there and visiting with all the old, hobros and the watch manufacturers. He says a large part of it is that they're all saying, "Hey, we're hurting this last year because of the virus. The virus shut us down. We didn't make as many watches. Therefore, we're not selling as many watches."
That's nothing new.
Yeah. Well, who's really profiting from it, of course?
Who's really profiting from it? The people selling the watches. What do you mean?
Yeah, the gray dealers.
And the dealers,
the resellers, and of course, the ADs.
No, well, I mean, I don't even think that's a question to bring up. Who's profiting from it? Who's profiting from it the most? It's going to be the end user, the person wearing the watch. That's who's profiting from it the most. And the truth be told, bro, it ain't the great dealers to be mad at. It's your fellow watch friends that are buying and flipping the watches for a profit because they don't love the watch and they don't love the watch hobby. They'd rather have money and ruin the hobby.
Fair enough.
It ain't the great dealers, bro. The great dealers, I mean, I love my great dealer, and they give me a couple of $1,000 discount from the posted price. I mean, what do they want? What do I want them to do, though? Necessarily give it at a deep discount because I know it's overinflated. So I personally would put the blame to the retail customer, not at all with the gray me. That's my reasoning. What do you think about that aspect of it? You got to be mad at people who just buy stuff and flip it and don't even wear it for a week, right?
Well, yeah, and that's I think in large part that's also due to people like us. I think we're responsible for it.
What do you mean?
People on YouTube, because every goddamn discussion is about value retention or value or getting a value.
Yeah.
Everything. No one talks about, do I love the watch? No, bullshit. Now I'm going to call you on bullshit, because all you talk about, and like everyone else on YouTube, along with everyone else on YouTube, is how much my watch has risen in value. And if you're not playing the game, if you're not playing a game to where you can be a flipper if you wanted to, then of course, then everyone uses the S word and says shed air, which is ridiculous, especially now. So, yeah, I think there's enough blame for everybody.
I don't know. I mean, I just think it just the prices went up. There's nobody to blame for anything, but I think if you are going to blame somebody, you got to blame the people who are selling the watches back, who are originally getting them, and that would be only the end user. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the price is going up. You know what? Maybe it's more the AD responsible, because they know who they're giving the watches to, and they're giving them to the wrong people, obviously. You know, maybe they shouldn't give the watch to somebody who has 20 watches already.
Or the watch brands, yeah. And here's the other thing. If Rolex was really concerned about it, because, like I said, they have to take that card in, and they have to send that information off to Rolex, right?
Uh-huh.
What happens? Why doesn't Rolex say, hey, Deanna, Deanna, hi. Yeah, this is Bob over in Rolex USA. Yeah, we noticed you're in the process of sending this card in for this guy, for Will Dorfman. And Will has 35 Rolexes. Don't you think it's a little goddamn... Were you aware of that?
Yeah, that's what they should do. They should stop the guy who's got a dozen watches from another purchase. That makes sense. The people with the least amount of watches but still have a history, 1 or 2 or 3, they should get priority, man. And that will put the watches in hands of people who will hold them, and not the flippers.
Now, on the other hand, there's Rahiv.
Raj, what's up, man? Long time. What's going on, buddy? But yeah, I mean, that would be a way to do it. You got to hit the AD, because that's where the initial distribution is coming from.
Or if Rolex were to say, hey, tell you what, we'll have a special Rolex for you. It'll have your name engraved in the rehaut.
Haha.
Now, number one, you have to admit that would be cool as fuck, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And you want to talk about killing, yeah. And it's like, if you want just the generic plain one, it'll take 3 times longer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. That's the thing. I mean, I'm not getting, man, I've got 6 or 7 on record with my AD, and they're not giving me nothing.
No.
I've begged. I even contacted the corporate in a nice manner, and I said, hey, my AD's great. My rep is the best person in the world. I blow him, but is there any way you could help him get a watch in my hand? And I still didn't get nothing.
No.
I still didn't get nothing. Corporate reached out to me and said, you're trying to, push for a watch, I still can't get you one. Fuck off. I mean, Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, though, really, the joke I've made for years is that, Archie and Rolex have similar DNA. It's just enacted slightly. It's just arranged slightly differently. It's that Rolex, whereas Archie is very lazy and a little greedy with an overwhelming sense of entitlement, Rolex is very greedy and a little lazy.
Why do you bring that clown up? Man, Dude, of everybody on YouTube, that schmuck knows the least about watches and watch appreciation, styles, value. He knows the least about that on anybody on YouTube, man. He gave the worst watch advice of any YouTuber possible. You can't give worse watch advice than he gave.
Okay, what are you talking about specifically?
Every piece of watch advice he's ever given to anybody on that channel was just garbage. They all sold good assets and they all bought shit based on his advice. Everybody's got a piece of shit Omega Speedmaster that isn't vintage, and everybody's got non-roll. I mean, the guy's a fucking idiot. And the advice he's given to people to sell out of their Rolexes and buy this and buy that just was all the wrong financial moves. I mean, big time.
I don't think he's really issued to get out of Rolex.
Oh yeah, no, he got out of all his Rolex. He thought he sold at the top. He told everybody to get out now, and that was a year and a half ago. He made the call to get out of your watches at the top, and he missed it by 50%. They doubled since then. Yeah, the guy's a schmuck. And, if anything, go back to even your videos. You talked about watch appreciation, but I'm gonna be honest here. Of anybody, I gave the best watch advice, and that was, I gave specific model references, number to buy constantly over and over again, and those watches all 5x'd, every single one of them, and that was one thing we did here constantly, was press upon people which watches to buy for investment purposes, and we nailed every single one of them. Every single one of them.
Then again, if it's what, Rolex?
No. Omega Snoopy number 2, $8,500. Lange Datograph. Rolex two-tone Zeniths. Rolex two-tone non-Zeniths. AP Royal Oaks. We called all of these.
But on the other hand,
all of these watches.
That's also encouraging people to get watches that they don't love.
No. You're encouraging people to get watches they don't love. I'm encouraging people to get watches they love.
No, you're not. You're just talking about the primary. What you're talking about, the primary thing, the primary indices was value appreciation. Just now, the watches that went up 5 times.
No, you're wrong.
You said that.
You're wrong. The value goes up. The value goes up.
Just now, like 2 minutes ago.
The value goes up based on my taste in art, because I'm an art appreciation person, and I've been studied in art, and I went to university for art in addition to finance. I have an over appreciation for art and an understanding for the golden ratio and if art is good or not good. And I pick watches that are beautiful aesthetically, and they therefore go up in value as investments. Simple as that. Other people look at watches and they see a Grand Seiko and they think it's beautiful, and I'll tell them it's shit. And I'm right and they're wrong. And the value in the end determines who's right and who's wrong, because money determines that. Money determines what art is better and what art is not better. I mean, that's really it.
That also changes the market now. Now, if you would have led with that, I would have signed up. I
mean, that's all I do all day, though, is when I do the shows, is constantly look over the watch, whether I like it, not like it. I mean, that's what all I do, right? I go on European Watch Company, and always we always look at the watch aesthetically, and that's what we look at. I mean, that's the main thing we always look at. And then we look at the value, and I go, ah, shit, it's $150,000. No wonder why I like it. Every watch I end up liking is always over 150 grand.
And But to me, it's like the value appreciation is secondary. It's a secondary attribute.
I mean,
it's other people agreeing with your choice.
It is secondary. It is secondary, but it's important because these things are worth so much money. I personally would not be able to continue buying watches if they depreciated, because I can't be putting $150,000 into depreciating assets just because I can afford them, just to have a fun watch collection. You know, if that was the case and they all depreciated, then I would only have 3 or 4, because I know they're depreciated items and I don't want to get in more money than that. But because they've appreciated and they have value and they're going up in value, and I'm not afraid to lose value in them, it promotes me to be able to keep going and enjoy more watches and build a bigger collection, because I know that if shit hits the fan, man, even if they go down 60%, I'll still actually double my money. And so I feel safe, you know, I feel safe that I'm not risking my family money, pissing it away. That's the thing for me with the value retention. It gives me the liberty to keep collecting. Like, for example, my sports cards, in particular, the brand Panini, I've probably put about $10,000 or $15,000 in those sports cards right now. And man, I think they're down 50%. And I'm done buying. I'm not going to put more money into something I feel is not working out. You know, what am I going to do? I'm not sure. But if they kept going up, I'd keep buying. It's kind of the same thing with the watches, I think.
What if they kept going up and they became priced out of your range? And that's why I'm discouraged. I think a lot of people are discouraged in the watch market right now.
Oh, for sure. I mean, look, I missed my AP.
Let's look at Luxury Bazaar. Of course, as you know, Roman's trying to up his YouTube game. He's trying to basically almost go. He's going to do what him and TPG were trying to. Company gentlemen were trying to almost like go into a race and who got picked up as a reality TV show more.
Yeah.
And basically, it's just like, well, I'm not trying to make it. I've already made it. My business is worth 100 million. How do I triple that and make it worth 300 million? And it's just like, okay, 300 million.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, and the thing is, you're a fucking middleman. You might know more than anything else. Okay,
man, that's where the biggest money in the world is made, by being a middleman, getting a widget for $1 and selling it for 10. That's where people make the most money in the world, bro.
Mm.
You know, that's the quickest flip to make money. That's how people make money. I wish I got into a business like that, wholesale or something. I never did.
Well, sorry. I think the only way you can do that literally is to have zero love for the items.
Man, he really makes that much sales?
I'm just going what he's saying.
Is that possible? That's a lot. Wow.
Yeah.
How many watches is that? I mean, can he physically even go through that many watches to come up with that number? That's crazy.
Well, someone said that also part of that's also jewelry sales and a few other things, but
yeah,
Luxury Bazaar is primarily, let's face it, I think it's primarily watches.
Well, hey, man, more success to him, more power to him. Fuck it, man. I guess.
No, it's just like, and everyone's like, oh, watches, they've become so much more expensive. They've been priced out of range. We can't get our hands on them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they turn around and, oh, we love you, Robin. Yeah, they kiss the resellers' asses. It's just like, God, you're sheep. You don't understand. They're the reason why.
Yeah. Yeah. man, there's a real fine group that's really responsible for this. And it's like you said, that gray dealer, but it's got to be coupled with that customer who's that flipper. I mean, those are the guys ruining the market. That relationship right there, the strong relationship between that dirty flipper and the gray guy, who, I mean, he's just making his business, but he's really looking at that flipper to make that money for him. They're their agents in a way,
Oh yeah, they depend upon each other. But the funny part is that you have nothing but scorn to put on the flipper, and then you have nothing but praise for the reseller, and they're basically two sides of the same coin.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. I mean, I want my yellow Rolex OP41, and the flippers are having a field day with it, and I'm not getting my watch. I get it, man. I agree for sure.
Well, yeah, and I think eventually,
I mean, it's just an OP41, man.
Yep.
I ain't asking for a Daytona no more. I gave up on that.
It doesn't matter. Even you can't even get the Rolex table scraps anymore. That's how bad it is.
You can't even get the catalog. That's the truth. Can't even get the catalog.
Exactly right. So, yeah, it's just, right now, I almost think the watch market is to the point right now, if there's anything that really catches your attention, if there's anything that you really like, something that takes your breath away, something that's like, ooh. What I'm saying is, if you find that emotional attachment to it, number one, gauge your emotional, know yourself, know your taste. Are you fall in and out of leads easily, or and how good are your tastes, quite frankly?
Yeah, well, that Breitling re-edition made me cry.
Yep. But and how true are you to your tastes and to what you believe? But if there's something out there that grabs you, the way the market is now, I almost think, look around, make sure you're not paying the highest price out there. Make sure you're not getting royally bent over the table, and then make your move. He who hesitates right now in this current market, he who hesitates is lost.
Yeah. Hey, let me show you something. I'm wondering if this is my watch. There's a chance it could be. FP Journe corporate just like finished a watch and then posted it to Instagram. And I'm just wondering, man, did they just finish my watch? Is this coming to me right now? Because these are made one at a time, right? And it's the watch that I ordered, and it's like the timing's impeccable. If I get a call in the next few weeks that I know this watch that showed up on Instagram is actually my watch, I'm going to pull it up here. I have a feeling it is. I mean, I look at it and I'm just telling myself, man, that is my watch. They got it done. And that's it.
Havana, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And see what they wrote? It says, to stop unfounded rumors, we would like to remind our collectors that the chronometer Sovereign 38 millimeter diameter is still available and may be special ordered. Now, I got the 40. I think mine's a 40, if I'm not mistaken. But I guess you can special order the 38 if you really wanted it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But I don't think I would have gone with the 38. I think I would have stuck with the bigger one just because I want that all dial, man, for the money I'm spending,
True.
What do you think about that? 38 versus 40 on this one?
Well, it determines, is it more of a dress watch or is it more of a sports watch? And I think that kind of falls in between. It's like, remember, back when they had the Explorer 39. And if you going around to pre-owned, you could find a 36 or a 30. Well, I guess you still can now, technically. But the 36, even the same design, same dial, the same everything, it's just different sizes, different spacing. The 36 is like a sporty dress watch. The 39 is like a dressy sports watch.
Uh-huh.
And I almost think it's the same way. When I say a 38 is just what I, yeah. Now, if you go up there, if they have it in stock, you put it on your wrist and you don't like it, then pay attention to that.
Right.
Hold it in your gun. So if on the other hand, you put it on, you're like, hey, this is a sexy little watch.
Right.
Then you should really pay attention to that. Then you shouldn't say, well, but what gets, oh, geez,
this will be my largest watch. Funny.
Yeah. Well, 30, yeah, or
40. I guess Rolex is 40, but this is going to look big 40, not like a Rolex, right?
Yeah, that's all dial. That's all dial. So therefore well, here's the funny part is that I took at one point I had like a Rolex date, a 15400 or something, and then I put it next to my 40 millimeter Explorer 2, and then you realize the dial is on the actual dial on the Explorer 2 is the same size or maybe a little bit smaller than the 34. So when you hear people say unilaterally, any watch under 35 millimeters is categorically too small, those are the people, the overgeneralizers are the people you should probably take their advice with a grain of salt.
Hey, do you have any like formal dress watches like this around this? What size are the ones that you have? What do you got? What do you got? Formal dress.
I've got a 42 formal dress.
What watch?
Urban Jurgensen.
Oh, that's the one you were just telling me about, wasn't it? The no. Yeah, we were just talking about the other day, the Urban. Yeah, that was a big purchase you made, that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And that one was what size?
42.
It's 42. Whoa, baby.
Yeah.
So 40, I shouldn't even worry about that, man. They make a 42 like that? Or wow.
Teardrop lugs.
What?
Teardrop lugs. Anything else? Which I think kind of reduced it a little bit. But what I'm saying is,
how does that wear?
Wears just fine.
I mean, really large though, right?
A little bit, but it's nice to be able to read the time without looking at my glasses. It doesn't feel, even though it's a large chunk of platinum, I don't feel like it's unduly heavy or that it gets in the way or fights with my shirt cuff.
What's your wrist size?
A little over, probably like 7.6 or something.
Oh crap! You're kidding?
No, why?
Well, that's huge, dude. So yeah, so on you, yeah, that definitely is fine. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that the people who put things categorically in black and white terms, I don't know how much faith you should put in them.
No, I think every watch is different.
Thank you.
And
every wrist is different.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, like a 36-day date is swell,
or swole. Yes. All right. Well, I'm going to have to reboot real quick. I'm when you called me up, I was in the middle of.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, it was a nice having a chat with you. Thanks, guys, for joining. And until next time, you guys have a beautiful day. And don't forget to wind your watches.